Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a general manager in what may have been the fastest general manager search in NFL history. Thank God. The executive team of the Miami Dolphins has found their man. They could have taken the easy route, Josh. They decided not to. It feels to me, and I think to a lot of other people I've watched today, like this was a legitimate search.
Mhm.
And they legitimately looked at every piece of the person, not just who they were connected to. I cannot wait to talk about Jon-Eric Sullivan right after this. And welcome back to the 305 Gridiron. Tonight's show, breaking news, the Miami Dolphins have hired GM Jon-Eric Sullivan, who is competing with Jackson Smith and Jigba for the longest name in the NFL, as our new general manager away from the Green Bay Packers. Josh, 22 years with the Packers. This man has worked with every great GM and scouting person that has come through the Green Bay Packers organization. He has kind of been there for. I think that this is a really good hire. I'm excited about it. I am happy that they didn't take the easy way out. I thought that the late addition of Chad Alexander was all too easy and all too coincidental.
Very much so.
Despite the stories come out of camp that like, no, none of this had anything to do with John Harbaugh. Firing Mike McDaniel, adding Chad Alexander late to the GM search, none of it had anything to do with John Harbaugh. Yo, okay, we ain't that stupid. But hey, they don't go with Chad Alexander, who was the one with connections to John Harbaugh. Instead, they go with Green Bay Packers Jon-Eric Sullivan. How are you feeling about this move?
I mean, look, I was not shy with Alec Halaby being my preferred choice, but once we whittled it down to those four, the four ones that were in contention, Josh Williams, Chad Alexander that you just spoke about, Champ Kelly, who was our interim, and Sullivan. Boy, I got to get used to his name. Jon-Eric Sullivan.
J-E-S.
J-E-S. No, that's too close to the Jets.
Yeah. I just said it out loud for the first time.
I can't do it.
We can't do it.
No. Once I started digging into these four, Sullivan, or like he apparently likes to be called Sully.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Sully.
Go. Like the monster from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah. Sully, which is much easier to say, was the clear and away winner in my opinion. And I know it's very easy to say that after the fact, and it's but I really do genuinely. I mean, I sent you guys in our group chat the interview from a couple days ago before he was hired, and I just really liked what he stood for, what he was saying, kind of his mental approach. I mean, look, to your point, he worked under legendary GMs. I mean, we're not just talking about like normal GMs. We're not talking about just, hey, they're good GMs. We're talking about Ted Thompson and Brian Gutekunst. Right. Gutekunst, whatever. That guy.
No idea. Yeah.
Two legitimate legendary GMs in this game's history. And hey, Blake, what's up, buddy? And I just think based on what I understand of his coming ups, he started off as a young 20-year-old, made 20 grand his first couple years, really started at the ground up, worked his way through just about every single kind of major stop you can, working your way up. And he just has a really cool approach. He has a really cool mentality. He's very well spoken. He's very smart. He's very determined. You can tell he has a vision and he's going to execute the vision, which is something that frankly, you and I and us Dolphins fans haven't seen.
I've missed it.
This guy gives me the vibes of, I'm going to be nice. I'll be friendly. I'll be cordial, but I'm not taking any shit. And this is going to be I am building this team. So either get, shit or get off the pot. And it's like a breath of fresh air. It really is.
Yeah. The Green Bay Packers did a video series called their unsung heroes, the guys behind the scenes of their organization who don't get a lot of love on YouTube. And you linked this video to us in the chat. We should link it in the description of this video if we haven't already. It's the few things that came out of that I really, really loved about his philosophy. And they only talk about his philosophy for like 60 seconds of like an 11-minute video, right? But to your point, it was talking about like the comeuppance, right? Like that's the way Green Bay did it for everybody back then. He said not so much anymore, but back then you started at ground level and you had to work your way up. That was just the Green Bay way. you could not come in and start at a higher level. You had it was like UPS. You have to start at the bottom. Now it's not so much that way, but like he even mentioned that he wasn't in the league the first when he graduated. He graduated, he went into corporate America for 3 years and was quickly like, nope, this sucks.
No, that's a hard pass. Thank you.
Yeah, and went and started working for his 20 grand a year, and worked up, like you said, under Thompson, under Gutekunst. But to get back to my point, my favorite things about him are a few things. One, he builds through the draft. That's absolutely killer. I love it. Green Bay Packers' last few drafts have a few really good key additions to the team. Love seeing that. Number two, he says in this interview that one of his big philosophies is making sure the QB is still the right trigger man. And he uses the word still, which I emphasize, because that means he's going to analyze this quarterback every single year. Is this still the guy? Can he still get us over the hump? And if not, he's going to go draft another one, which the Packers have done.
With
Favre,
with
Rodgers, Love, right?
Yep.
And then he talked about identifying your existing building blocks, which I'm sure he will be doing all this week. I don't know if he's actually signed the contract yet, but he will be doing that this week. Building through the draft. And then my favorite quote, if we're all agreeing, nobody's thinking.
Yep. I love it. I love it. That is such a breath of fresh air coming from Chris Greer specifically, who was like, what do you want? Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
There was zero pushback, seemingly. I mean, obviously, none of us are in the
He is open to it and actually expects the pushback from his team, from his staff, from everybody, because I mean, it's such a good point though. Like if you have a bunch of yes men in the room, you're never improving.
And a couple key takeaways for me were from a quote standpoint in that thing. And now that you're talking about it, the draft is the lifeblood of a franchise, which I love, because you and I are draft guys. Like, we believe in building this thing out in the draft and then supplementing your team with veteran players to kind of elevate the quality, if you will, whether it be from a depth standpoint or a starting standpoint. And the other one is that he believes, I forgot how it got woven in, but essentially he believes the NFL is a young man's game, which tells me that we're not going to get a bunch of overpaid right at the end of their prime veterans added to this roster.
Yeah.
Like we did. And it was great in the moment with Tyreek Hill. Not that he's past his prime, because I still think once he's healthy for whatever team he plays on, he's still going to be a very good wide receiver. But the Jalen Ramseys and the Jordan Poyers and the insert other people, we're not going to see a lot of that, which I love. I really do love. And this guy's has the potential. Again, we don't know how it's going to go out.
You never know.
We never know, but he's got the potential. He's still on the younger side, that he could be here for 10, 20 years.
Speaking of a young man's game, this dude is in better shape than most of our players.
I know, dude.
Interview, I'm like, holy crap, what is happening? I got to get in good shape.
Yeah, I know. It made me feel very,
one day,
it made me feel very inadequate.
Let's hit the chat. Blake says he loves the direction. I saw a video with Omar Kelly today where the title was Ross has made all the right moves, and I thought I just about hit the floor because Omar Kelly doesn't say that shit, right?
No, he sure doesn't. He sure doesn't.
No lives for January. My ads from Abel. Welcome to the show, buddy.
What's
Welcome
up,
in.
Abel?
True Blazer. Hope you don't get soiled by the organization. Hey, man. His dad has some ties to the organization. Jerry Sullivan was a 50-year coach in the NFL. He coached for us in 2004.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver coach.
As a wide receiver coach, Yep. His dad was born in Miami as well, so like this is kind of a homecoming for him. He should be very familiar with the area and with the town. So what's next, dude? Immediate priorities for Sully going into his first season as a GM. Obviously, we need a head coach.
Yep. We
need to know what to do with the quarterback.
Yep.
And for the first time in what feels like forever, we have 5 of the top 100 picks in the NFL draft.
Yeah, and I would throw onto that list figuring out who your head of scouting is and your head of college scouting and your head of something. We lost 2 of them. I can't. It's college scouting and some other head scout.
Yeah.
Because those are the 2 that really drive your, insight into all of these players coming in the draft.
My guess is that some people from the Packers organization are about to get promoted.
Probably, yeah.
But to the Dolphins.
but I think really the next big thing that us fans care about. I mean, we care about all the minutia. Right. Because I want to know who's going to be evaluating these draftees. Right. Because that will tell us Or, what's their track record? What's their hit rate? What's their, what do they look for? What are the key things so that when we do these shows, we know what we're talking about. But from an average fan standpoint, it's really who you hiring as your next head coach. And I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. I know we try to keep these real short, but do you think that this is going to be a relatively quick process? Like, let's say quick being a week or two and we'll have a new head coach? Or do you think now that he's here, he's going to take a little bit of time, see how the playoffs, maybe LaFleur, maybe the Packers get bounced early and the Green Bay Packers decide to move on from LaFleur, who he's very comfortable with. Maybe Buffalo gets bounced early and Sean McDermott gets cut. Maybe they go after John Harbaugh, or maybe Harbaugh. I mean, we don't know. Or do you think it's going to take a while?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a while. I mean, he's got a lot to get acclimated to as a first-time GM. He's got to come in, and as we know, general manager isn't just football, although I know that we are structuring ours to sort of be. Yeah. But there's more, like he oversees more than just the team.
Right.
He oversees people in the office. And so he's got a lot to kind of wrap his head around. I do believe that finding a coach is first on his list. I mean, it has to be, right?
Because they need time to fill out their staff.
Everybody else has a head start. I think, it wouldn't be surprising if Jeff Hafley gets an interview. It's the DC for the Packers, that amazing defense this year. I'm not a big LaFleur guy. He reminds me too much of MMD in terms of they're not running the same offense, but like they're just always below expectations. I feel like. So I'm just really excited to see who he brings in. We don't really know, right? That's the beauty of getting a first-time GM, is that you know a little bit about his philosophy, or the philosophies he's been a part of, but you don't know what he's going to be looking for necessarily. And I can't wait to start. There's going to be insiders coming out with lists of people that we're going to be interviewing pretty soon. I think a lot of the insiders are kind of focused on the wild card now. Wild card starts tomorrow, so they're focusing on actual football, people playing football.
Selfish of them, mind you,
but I think come Monday, Tuesday, we'll know a lot more about the coaching situation. And
is your gut telling you that we have a chance with Harbaugh? I know. Look, I don't really buy into all of the. It was what was the guy's name? Hold on.
Chad Alexander.
Yeah, it was Chad Alexander or bust to get Harbaugh. I don't believe that. I think it would have maybe helped in a way, because to what you said on our last show, on the Mike McDaniel breaking news channel or show rather. Harbaugh seems to care more about money and power, which he should. I mean, the guy's a proven veteran.
Yeah, I am still very much in the camp of wanting John Harbaugh here, but I am happy with the approach that Ross is taking, and Ross and company are taking.
Yeah,
we get a clean sweep for the first time in ages. Since 2008, it's the first time. It's potentially going to be the first time we hire a coach with experience, if we do hire a head coach with experience, since 2008. It may be the first time we've had a clean sweep since then too, because it's been a very long time since we did a clean sweep. But yeah, I'm very much in the John Harbaugh camp, but I'm a little more eased by the fact that if we don't get him, I won't be as beat up about it, because I think we got the GM that a lot of us wanted. Yeah. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, I think I'll feel a little bit bummed, if we get a first time head coach again.
Yeah, because
we've seen over the last 4 head coaches of ours. They've all been kind of the buzzy coordinators. But,
what the crazy thing is? Nobody knows what Harbaugh wants. I mean, we're getting a lot of speculation on the internet, which is what the internet does. But, he hasn't talked to anybody yet outside of his inner circle. So we don't know if he even wants to coach this year.
Well, that has been confirmed from him, that he definitely wants to coach, just not where.
We don't know where. We don't know what he's looking for. Yeah. We don't know. We've heard from some people he wants to go to a place with a good quarterback. We've heard some other people he wants to go to a place where he can choose his own. It's like there's so much conflicting stuff out there that I think I know that his team is going to start talking to NFL teams next week, and then we'll know more.
Perfect.
All right, dude. That'll do it for this breaking news show. Miami Dolphins get their GM, Jon-Eric Sullivan from the Green Bay Packers. Super pumped about this. Might just go watch some, what's his name? Tom Grossi, to see how he feels about it too, as a huge Packers fan up there. But yeah, we got a GM, man. So now it's time to let the wheels are turning. The draft is coming soon. I'm super excited. This is going to be a really fun offseason.
Sure is.
All right. For Josh, a.k.a. Aqua Ace, over here to my left, I'm Anthony Pinzone. This has been a breaking news segment by the 305 Gridiron. We'll catch you next time. Fins up, baby.